Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So it's good that obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course is emphasising his targets for this summer as well. But obviously we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now is planning to bring a couple of additions in that midfield as well. As potentially we do know that Ander Herrera of course is leaving the club. Obviously Fellaini left back in January as well. But news now is coming out about Paul Pogba. Of course, it's likely that Paul Pogba, of course, is going to be departing Manchester United this summer. But recent reports do currently say if Paul Pogba wants to join Real Madrid this summer, reportedly, Paul Pogba will reportedly have to take a pay cut in his £290,000 a week wages, because reportedly Real Madrid are reportedly not willing to match his current weekly wages as well. So this could be a stumbling block, with him making a move to Real Madrid as well. Whether he takes a pay cut or not, Paul Pogba, I do not know as well. But essentially, as we all do know, reports were coming out the other day. Reports were coming out from Spain saying that Paul Pogba has agreed personal terms, and reportedly the wages have been agreed, and reportedly Paul Pogba has agreed a 10 million a year deal with Real Madrid as well. So potentially, we're emphasising a couple of targets, that could potentially, replace Paul Pogba as well. But whether he's willing to take this pay cut or not, I do not currently know. To be quite honest with you. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken to Paul Pogba, of course, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still insists he'll be at Manchester United next season. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, doesn't think Paul Pogba will leave Manchester United as well, because potentially, he's still one of the best midfielders in world football, even though he has, failed to replicate that in at least in his last 6 or 7 games as well. And that just emphasises, he doesn't want to be at Manchester United anymore, because maybe he's not playing around amongst world-class players at Manchester United, Paul Pogba as well. But I think, if we can get rid of Pogba this summer, it will help us with our transition as well, because essentially we can get around 120 or 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba as well. But Paul Pogba, was talking a lot about Real Madrid, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, about his dream to play for them and all that as well. So that's why he's intending on going this summer, is Paul Pogba as well. Even though there has still been news circulating around the media saying that his former club, Juventus, are interested in re-signing him as well. But he did say Juventus would have to offload a couple of their players, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. But Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola as well. Paul Pogba did have 4 good years as well. But essentially, reflecting back when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in his first 3 months at the club as well, everything was going right. The performances were good, the results were really, really good. Solskjaer exceeded expectations as well, and he was getting the best out of these group of players. But during that 3-month period, Paul Pogba was our most influential player as well. And it's just seemed to have all gone wrong since he's got the job permanently, because now we've only won 2 of our last 10 games in all competitions as well. Reports were coming out the other week saying that Manchester United were set to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband, to convince him, to stay at the club. It did say Man United have been in negotiations of trying to get Paul Pogba a new contract at the club, because Paul Pogba's got over 2 years left on his deal, with an option of a further year as well. And he's on about 290 or £300,000 a week at the moment in his current deal as well as Paul Pogba. He's heading now into his 4th season as a United player. Of course, Manchester United paid £89 million from Juventus, of course, back in 2016 as well. But Paul Pogba, of course, did get one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club, because obviously Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, the rumours of him leaving last year, of course, as well. Obviously Barcelona were interested in him as well. There were rumours of Juventus being interested in him last year as well. But whether Paul Pogba's willing to take this pay cut or not, I do not know. But he's built a great relationship up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, as Paul Pogba. And as I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he managed the Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of this team, at this day and age, grow and develop. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba as well. So I think he does want to go to Real Madrid this summer. But whether he's willing to take this pay cut or not, I do not know. So Real Madrid are not willing to meet his £290,000 a week wages reportedly as well. So he's going to have to take a pay cut if he wants to go to Real Madrid this summer. And obviously Zinedine Zidane, of course, is a big admirer of the player. Zinedine Zidane, of course, is emphasising his targets for this summer as well, including Paul Pogba, including Eden Hazard as well. So it's, I don't know if I still think probably Paul Pogba is going to leave, so he probably will take this pay cut, to be quite honest with him as well. But reports came out the other week he was demanding £500,000 a week from Manchester United, if he was to remain loyal and if he was to sign a new contract as well with the club, Paul Pogba. But as they currently say, he joined, we had him when he was younger, Paul Pogba, of course, we got him in 2009, he joined Manchester United youth set up, we got him from Le Havre and all that, and we got him under the Alex Ferguson era, when Paul Pogba was actually, you know, a lot younger, of course. Couple of years later, you know, he did, you know, make he did make a couple of first team appearances. Did Paul Pogba, but based on limited appearances, you know, Ferguson let him go, and we let him go on a free transfer. Then he went on to have 4 great years with Juventus. Did Paul Pogba as well, but then we got him for £89 million in 2016 as well. So potentially, of course, he's our most expensive player. But if we can get rid of him this summer, you know, it will help us with our transition as well. So yeah, it's looking likely, you know, Paul Pogba's still going to be going, even though he's got to take a pay cut because Real Madrid are not willing to, you know, match his current £290,000 a week wages as well. So potentially, you know, as I did say, we do know Ander Herrera, of course, is going as well. So obviously, you know, we need to get a couple of additions in that midfield, as we all know, as well. So as I did update you on my video yesterday, you know, there has been a lot of talks about Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes as well. Now, as you all know, Bruno Fernandes is 24 years of age, of course. He's tied it up very, very well in Portugal as Bruno Fernandes. He's got a release clause of around £90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon as well. I think he's about 5'10", and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he scored about 28 goals in all competitions this season for Sporting Lisbon as well. I think he's predominantly an attacking midfielder, so would I him as a replacement for Paul Pogba, but I think he can also play as a central midfielder as well, can Bruno Fernandes, and quite a few teams have been interested. You know, Manchester United have been interested in him, AC Milan have been interested in him, and City have also been interested in him as well. But you know, he used to play for Sampdoria and Udinese as well, so he spent a lot of time in Italy, you know, when he was younger as well. You know, did Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes has been at Sporting Lisbon now quite a few years as well. So Man United, I think, have been in negotiations with his representatives over the summer transfer, and I think Man United have been scouting him, of course, you know, based on his impressive performances he's shown, you know, for Sporting Lisbon as well. So yeah, he's a potential Manchester United target as well. There was talks going on about Tanguy Ndombele, you know, coming out from the media as well. You know, Tanguy Ndombele, 22 years of age, of course. It said Manchester United and Manchester City are interested in him. It says quite a few other teams are interested in Tanguy Ndombele as well. But according to the Lyon president, from his own preference, you know, he'd rather sell him to Juventus, of course, because I think, you know, because obviously, you know, Pankitic, you know, plays for Juventus and all that. But Tanguy Ndombele, I think, is a defensive midfielder. I think he can also play as a central midfielder as well. So we would see him as more as a replacement for Ander Herrera as well. But Tanguy Ndombele is 22 years of age. You know, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, but as I did say, with Manchester United, we're not going to, you know, we can't offer any Champions League football for next season. It's going to be hard for us to attract players to that elite level as well. I think Tanguy Ndombele is valued at around £70 million. Is he something like that? You know, Lyon got him permanently last summer for around, was it just over £7 million? Because initially, before, he was on loan with Lyon as well, and he's got a contract with Lyon until 2023 as well. But I think Manchester United, of course, have been linked with Tanguy Ndombele in the past as well. But from Lyon's preference, they'd rather sanction him off to Juventus as well. Reports are coming out saying that Manchester City are preparing to put around a £68 million bidding for him. I think he's 5'11" as well, so he's just under 6 foot. He's Tanguy Ndombele as well. So there's still talks going on, as I updated you a while back as well, you know, about Everton's Idrissa Gueye as well. I want to give you guys an update on as well, and we could identify him as a replacement for Ander Herrera as well. Idrissa Gueye is a defensive midfielder, of course. Reports are still saying that Manchester United are interested in him, of course. He's highly experienced, he's well Premier League proven, of course. He's 29 years of age, he's a Senegal international as well. He plays for Everton. I think he's been at Everton a number of years now as Idrissa Gueye. I think now he's heading into his 4th season now as an Everton player as well. But yeah, he's a very, very good player. He's Idrissa Gueye, you know, he breaks up the play very, very well. He's an energetic midfielder as well. You know, he's good at pressing opponents. He's Idrissa Gueye as well. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield? You know, Idrissa Gueye, you know, if he was to come in as well. He's been at Everton a number of years now. As I said, he's a former Aston Villa player. I think he only spent 1 season with Villa. When he was younger, he played for Lille as well. I think Everton got him in 2016. I think Everton triggered a release clause in Idrissa Gueye's contract, and I think they just paid over £7 million for Idrissa Gueye as well. Based on his fantastic performances though for Everton, I think he got a new contract back in February of last year, so he got his contract extended until 2022 with Everton Football Club as well. So there has been a lot of talks about Idrissa Gueye going on as well. Most of his appearances obviously in the Premier League is obviously, you know, come as an Everton player as well. But reports did circulate a while back saying that he could be available for a reasonable figure this summer. A reasonable figure, he could be available for around £25-30 million. Could Idrissa Gueye. PSG inquired about getting him in January, but I think PSG had a couple of offers, turned down for Idrissa Gueye back in January as well. So potentially, as I did say, do you think Idrissa Gueye, would be the right player, if he was to come to Manchester United? I know he's aging up now. He's 29 years of age, Don't forget he's Idrissa Gueye as well. But he's a defensive midfield, and as I did currently say, I don't think Nemanja Matic is good enough, now for Manchester United. He's too ineffective in that midfield. He's too slow, as I currently said. And in some of his games, he has played quite well, Nemanja Matic, but for me, not reliable enough. And let's be honest, the majority of this Manchester United squad at the moment is not reliable enough, to be quite honest with you as well. So I'd like to see Manchester United, get rid of Matic in the summer, and plus Nemanja Matic is aging up as well. But we know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice midfield trio is obviously, Herrera, Matic and Pogba, of course, which he went with against Chelsea. But obviously he hasn't been able to go with that, more often, quite recently, because obviously, with the injuries we've had, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, has had to rotate in that midfield as well. So he has given chances to the likes of Fred, was actually, stepped up to the plate, most recently as well. I think he's the right solution at the moment. I still don't know if he's a long-term solution, in my opinion, because I don't know if he's got the capabilities, to continue them performances, Fred. But I think he's the right solution at the moment. He's probably a better choice than the Nemanja Matic, because he's more mobile on the ball, he's better on the ball than the Nemanja Matic as well. McTominay, when he's been playing, I've been very, very impressed there with McTominay as well. He's been playing between the lines very, very well indeed. So he's had to rotate in that midfield, especially, based on the injuries, Manchester United have had, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, has come in as well. But Fred and McTominay, when they have been playing, they have been impressive indeed. But I still don't know if the likes of McTominay and Fred are the long-term solution. I don't know if they've got the capabilities, to graduate Manchester United to that level as well. So this is why we do potentially need a couple of midfielders. And I did say, Fellaini, of course, left back in January as well. So potentially, as we all do currently know as well, there has been also a lot of talks going on about Benfica's, João Felix as well. And it did say that Solskjaer is interested in João Felix, from Benfica. João Felix is 19 years of age. He's had a good season this season with Benfica. Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on the player as well, because his performances have been good this season. He only broke into the Benfica first team last year, did João Felix. I think he's got a buyout clause around £100 million as João Felix, and he's also tied it up in Portugal very, very well as João Felix as well. I think he's a winner. I think he can play in other positions as well. So he is versatile, is João Felix. I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but Bruno Fernandes is doing very, very well in Portugal. João Felix is doing very, very well in Portugal. So do you think at least one of them would be the right solution for Manchester United? Perhaps maybe not both of them, but do you think at least one of them would be the right solution? Because João Felix is 19, Bruno Fernandes is 24, so they are still very, very young, both players as well. So do you think one of them would be the right addition, if they was to come to Manchester United this summer as well? And perhaps maybe if we were to go for Bruno Fernandes and João Felix, I think the potentially cost us maybe around 150, 160 million pounds, maybe something like that as well. That's how much it had cost us, to get Bruno Fernandes and João Felix on the board as well. Also, another thing I want to update you on as well, we do know Manchester United are in search for the central defender, of course, as well, because we obviously need someone, to partner up alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. And, we've been interested, of course, in quite a few central defenders, but I haven't spoken to you guys about this player. I think a few other United fans would have mentioned him to you. He's about the young Ajax centre-back, De Ligt, what's his first name, Matthew De Ligt, or something like that. He's 19 years of age, of course, he captains Ajax as well. I don't think I've ever mentioned him to you guys before as well, but he's 19 years of age, of course. I think he's the first and only defender, to win the Golden Boy Award in 2018 as well. De Ligt, he currently risen up the Ajax youth system, for a lot of years. I think he joined their youth academy at the age of 9, and he's progressed up the ranks fantastically well. And I think he's been in the senior squad now with Ajax, for quite a few years now as well. But I think now he's since Davinson Sanchez departed Ajax and went to Tottenham, of course, he's become more of a regular in the first team as De Ligt as well. But he's only 19. I think he's about 6'2" as well. So there has been talks about him going on as well. So do you think he'd be the right player for Manchester United? I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest. I know Ajax have got a great youth setup. They've got one of the best young youth academies in world football as well. But I've seen some of De Ligt's performances. They have been very, very impressive indeed. He can hold his line very, very well, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well, and he's been very, very good, you know, with Ajax. But has he got the capabilities, you know, to come to the Premier League and, you know, produce and deliver, you know, the same element of the performances, you know, that he has been doing in his couple of years, you know, with Ajax in the first team as well. So there has been talks about him also going on as well. But potentially, you know, we've got to get a central defender, you know, someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof, because I've been very, very impressive, you know, impressed with Victor Lindelof's performances this season for Manchester United. And, you know, I know we got him from Benfica, was it for about 30, was it £30 million, something like that, and he struggled in his first season. He didn't really settle in his first season, but this season he's improved, his distribution's improved, he's showing that ability to play out from the back and all that as well. So I've been impressed, you know, with Victor Lindelof this season as well. But as I did currently say, we still know, obviously, you know, Manchester United, of course, I've been long admirers of Koulibaly as well, and, you know, the rumours do continue to persist about it, you know, whether it happens or not, I do not know. But as I did say on one of my previous videos, it's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be extremely difficult for us, you know, to attract players, you know, to Koulibaly's calibre, of course, because obviously we're not going to be able to offer any Champions League football for next season. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, we still can't get a deal over the line of Koulibaly. Whether it'll happen or not, as I said, I do not know. But obviously, you know, he'd address our defensive deficiencies, you know, fantastically well. You know, with Koulibaly, of course, you know, he's done very, very well in Italy. You know, with Napoli, you know, this is his 5th season now with Napoli. Of course, I think he's made over 200 other appearances in all competitions. But if Man United have got any chance of getting him at all, obviously, you know, Manchester United have got to pay a world record fee for the player. Obviously, we've got to pay at least around 100 or 110 million pounds, you know, to convince Napoli, you know, to do any business for him this summer. Obviously, you know, Manchester United were in talks back in January. Man United had 3 bids turned down for him, you know, with a heavily linked to him last summer as well. And he's age 27, and I think he's nearly age 28 as well. So he has still got a few years ahead of him as Koulibaly. But the question is, you know, if he was to come to the Premier League, you know, could he replicate, you know, the performances, you know, he has been doing in Italy, you know, the number of years he's been in Italy, you know, with Napoli as well, and that is the question. Indeed, he's got a contract with Napoli till 2023 as well, so I don't really see it happening, you know, to be quite honest, because obviously Man United have got no Champions League football to offer for next season. If you want to get players at that calibre, you've got to be in Champions League football as well, so I do think it's going to be extremely difficult for us now to get Koulibaly, even if we are willing to pay a world record fee for him. We've got the financial power, you know, of course, you know, to meet his valuation, but Champions League football, of course, you know, we're not going to be able to offer that, so it may be even, you know, more difficult, now to get a Koulibaly on the board as well. Potentially, as we all do currently know as well, you know, there's much cheap alternative, you know, to Koulibaly, as I currently said, you know, Toby Alderweireld's been mentioned. He's nowhere near the same level or calibre as Koulibaly, Toby Alderweireld, but Alderweireld's available for £25 million this summer, and I think it'd be a great upgrade in our defence, you know, of what we've currently got at the moment, you know, Alderweireld. I have got reservations about him now, don't get me wrong, because he's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace, don't get me wrong, as well. But I think he wants to leave Tottenham, because obviously Tottenham activated a 12-month extension, included his £25 million release clause, you know, based on his refusal to sign a new contract with Tottenham as well, Alderweireld. But I still believe he'd be a good leader in our back line. You know, he's well Premier League proven as well. He knows about the Premier League, and, you know, he's done very, very well over the years as Alderweireld. He's grown, developed, and flourished, you know, fantastically well, and he still can prove to be a world-class central defender. And I know he's lost that yard of pace as well, but I still think he'd, you know, blending very, very well alongside Lindelof in our back line as well. So there's still rumours going on about that. You know, Manchester United were linked with Alderweireld last summer, but obviously, you know, we couldn't come to an agreement to get him last summer as well. But we've got to look at it. He's a much cheaper alternative to the likes of Koulibaly or the Rafael Varane and all that. Nowhere near as good, but he is a much cheaper alternative. And maybe, you know, I'm getting a few United fans saying maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. You know, because don't forget, you know, there's a lot of players out there that are available for a reasonable figure as well. Maybe we could get maybe 2 or 3 players for over £100 million rather than pay, you know, £100 million for one player, of course, as well. So maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But, you know, as I did currently say to you guys, you know, we're at least 3 or 4 years off, you know, from being that competitive elite level football club, you know, as we was under Alex Ferguson as well. So I do believe in at least in the next couple of years, you know, our aspirations are going to be that top 4, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. It's going to be difficult for us to attract players, you know, to the highest level, of course, you know, with having no Champions League football for next season as well. But as I did say, Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. Reportedly, he's going to get a spending spree of around £250 million this summer. We do know the club are still looking to hire a director of football to come in as well, to change the structure of the club. Solskjaer's going to need backing this summer. But there has been a few candidate names that have been mentioned, who could take that director's role at Manchester United. Recent reports came out saying that Ferdinand has been in talks with Ed Woodward over Ferdinand, Ferdinand, becoming the sporting director at Manchester United. So there were talks of him returning to the club, Ferdinand, as a sporting director as well. So we need someone to come in, who understands about the club and all that as well. And Ferdinand does, and maybe some United fans would like to see him come in. Maybe some United fans, wouldn't like to see him come in as well. So there has been a lot of talks about that going on. There's been talks of Mike Phelan. He said the other day in the press he's in line to become our technical director. There's also been talks about Edwin van der Sar, who's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment, obviously former Manchester United goalkeeper. There was a lot of talks about Paul Mitchell a while back as well, who's currently head of recruitment at RP Leipzig as well. So there has been quite a few names mentioned, who could take that director's role at Manchester United as well. But as I did currently say, you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's history as well. But we want to get the right players this summer. That is the most essential thing indeed as well. But as I did currently say, based on our bad vein of form, as I said, earlier on in the video, we've won 2 of our last 10 games in all competitions, of course, and the majority of the blame is on the players, because you've got to question the mentality of the players. The players have also got to take responsibility as well. But you've got to look at our squad from back to front. It's just a potential, not good enough, to be quite honest with you as well. And we've got to address this problem. And there's some of the blame does stem from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Some of his tactics and that are questionable, to be quite honest. But I just can't understand what's gone wrong, because now we are starting to see the element of the performances, that we did see under Jose Mourinho as well. And I just don't understand why, because it was going well in the first 3 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But yeah, as I did say, Solskjaer's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still some players from Van Gaal. There's still some players. There's actually, Mattery is still from the David Moyes era. There's still 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era as well. So a lot of money has been spent at the club. We should be in a better position than we're in. Arguably, with the money we've spent at Manchester United over the years since Ferguson has retired, about £700 million or something like that has been spent as well. And since Ferguson's left, we've had different managers, with different type of philosophies as well. And we've been playing catch up at least for the last 5 or 6 years as well. But none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, of course. He hasn't spent out yet at Manchester United. No, we spent it in January last summer. Of course, we didn't get as priority targets as well, because obviously last summer when we had Mourinho, the board weren't backing the signings we wanted to bring in to the club as well. And obviously Mourinho had disputes with the board. He had disputes with quite a few of the players as well. So potentially it didn't work out. So we've got to get our priority targets this summer as well. So yeah, we're going to get around £250 million reportedly as well. We have got to get the right players that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years as well. But as I did currently say, it's going to be hard to attract players to that, the highest level as well. So as I was basically, saying, I have been hearing people saying, that David De Gea, should be dropped, for these 2 remaining games for Manchester United. Of course, based on the recent mistakes he has been making for Manchester United, of course, David De Gea. And I don't know why this is occurred, to be quite honest. Is it something to do, with the contract issue? Is it something to do with the contract issue? Doesn't he want to be at Manchester United anymore? David De Gea. Maybe David De Gea from his own preference, wants to be, playing at the highest level, wants to be up there challenging and winning trophies. Of course, Manchester United are quite a few years away from doing that, to be quite honest. Maybe the similar scenario to Paul Pogba. Maybe one of the reasons he may want to leave, because he maybe wants to play to the highest level and wants to be up there challenging and winning trophies, player of Paul Pogba's calibre as well. But going back about David De Gea, he's still potentially, the best goalkeeper in the world, as we all currently know. He's been a good servant to the club. This is now his 8th season at Manchester United, of course. Is David De Gea's as well. He's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions for the club. But based on his fantastic performances, the years he's been here, he's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 5 years, as well as David De Gea. But recent reports have been coming out saying that PSG are reportedly willing to offer him a £450,000 a week contract in a deal worth around £90 million or something like that. So potentially, if PSG are willing to offer him a £450,000 a week contract, that's obviously more than double of what is currently on at the moment at Manchester United in his current deal, because he's on about £200,000 a week at the moment with Manchester United. Reports came out a while back saying that he was demanding demanding £350,000 a week was De Gea if he was to sign a new contract with the club as well. But De Gea, of course, is still under contract here until the summer of 2020 as well. And he's obviously, won everything here domestically as well. But he has been making quite a lot of mistakes recently. So is that giving us an indication that he doesn't want to be at the club anymore, or is it something to do with a contract issue? I'm not too sure, to be quite interested. So now, basically, some Manchester United fans are saying, he should be dropped for these 2 remaining games, and maybe we should for these 2 remaining games, drop the problematic players, give the youngsters a chance as well. Because either way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he stuck to what he said, because when he came in, he said he was going to get the players to express themselves, get them enjoying playing football, and give everybody the opportunity, including the young players, the fringe players, which he has currently done as well. So in these 2 remaining games, he's got to drop the problematic players, give the youngsters a chance as well. So maybe we should put Sergio Romero into contention, of these 2 remaining games, and drop David De Gea as well. But the question is Sergio Romero reliable enough, to become Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper? To be fair, I analysed his performances, when he was in goal in them FA Cup games, Romero, and he was impressive indeed, to be quite honest with you as well. So maybe we should drop De Gea in these 2 remaining games, because De Gea is becoming a liability at the moment. And you can't. I've heard a few Manchester United fans saying, De Gea's cost us the top 4. You can't, just put the majority of the blame on David De Gea. It's the full team. You've got to put the blame on as well. De Gea, has cost us points. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say he's cost us the top 4. That would sound quite harsh indeed. So yeah, as I did currently say, so if David De Gea is actually, to leave Manchester United, obviously, Man United would want to cash in for him this summer, rather than letting go on a free transfer the summer after as well. So Man United would, demand around £80-90 million for David De Gea as well. And obviously, we've emphasised a couple of targets, that could replace De Gea. Obviously, like what got mentioned in the media as well. There's Jan Oblak, the other day, got mentioned in the media, who could possibly, replace David De Gea. And Jan Oblak's 26 years of age, so potentially he's 2 years younger than David De Gea is Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak, though, is regarded as one of the best midfielders, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, to be quite honest with you. It's only this season Liverpool's Alisson has kept as many clean sheets as Jan Oblak as well. Jan Oblak's got a buyout clause of around 100 million, or is it 120 million or something like that, because he recently signed a new contract with Atletico Madrid, Jan Oblak. And of course, he did get a pay. I think when he signed this new contract, Jan Oblak got a pay rise in his buyout clause as well. So I think his buyout clause is around 120 million, is it? Or something like that as well. But he's been at Atletico Madrid a number of years now. I think this is now his 6th season now, is it? Well, I think it's his 5th season. He's going into his 6th season now at Atletico Madrid as Jan Oblak. He's made over 175 appearances in all competitions for Atletico Madrid as well. And he's won three major honours there so far. He's won the Europa League, he's won the UEFA Super Cup as well. I think he's won something else over Atletico Madrid as well. He's actually a former Benfica goalkeeper as well. So when he was younger, obviously, he played for Benfica as well, did Jan Oblak as well. But maybe a goalkeeper of Jan Oblak's calibre, again, wants to be in Champions League football, and this is something Manchester United probably, can't offer for next season as well. So maybe Jan Oblak wants to play to the highest level, and really isn't getting this with Atletico Madrid, to be quite honest, because Atletico Madrid are not really, up there challenging and all that. So maybe he wants to go to a team, that's up there, that's, that can, challenge, for titles and stuff, and, be up there competing as well. So this is maybe what Jan Oblak, may want to do, to be quite honest with you as well. But yeah, his buyout clause is around £100 million as well. So he's nowhere near the same calibre or level as De Gea, but he's still a really, really good goalkeeper. He's a good shot stopper. He's good at saving from long range. He's good at saving from close range as well. So he is a good goalkeeper, as Jan Oblak as well. And we do know in the past that there has been talks of Jordan Pickford as well. He's also been mentioned as well. So as I did essentially update you guys on yesterday, as I did currently say, there has been a lot of news circulating around the media. I just like to do long videos, to be quite honest with you. It's better doing long videos in my opinion. There has been a lot of news circulating in the media, at least in the last couple of months now, as I did say to you on my video yesterday, in relation to Inter Milan's Mario Icardi. Now, do you think he'd be the right solution if he was to come to Manchester United, Mario Icardi? Don't get me wrong, I really, really like him. Mario Icardi, he can score goals, as he has proven in these number of years he has been Inter Milan. His finishing is very, very good, so he is an efficient finisher. He has got endless potential as well. He can also create chances. He can also provide as well. Can Mario Icardi. He's 26 years of age. He's Argentinian, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as well as Mario Icardi. So do you think he'd be the right solution if he was to come to Manchester United? And do you think if Icardi was to come to the Premier League, do you think he'd be able to, do you think he's got the capabilities, and do you think he'd be able to produce and deliver, the same element of the performances, that he has been doing in Italy, with Inter Milan, the number of years he's been there. So do you think if he came to Premier League, he'd be able to replicate, what he's been doing at Inter Milan these number of years as well? Well, let's be honest, this season, he's enjoyed a difficult time this season. I think it did say he'd lost the captain's armband, Mario Icardi as well. But I do really, really like him, to be quite honest, especially if Lukaku was to leave Manchester United. Of course, obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Romelu Lukaku as well, because the likes of Rashford and Martial aren't reliable enough yet, because, Rashford's still in the process of developing, Martial's still in the process of developing as well, so they wouldn't be reliable enough, for one whole season, of course. So obviously we're going to need a replacement for Lukaku if Lukaku leaves as well. But as I did currently say, a lot of this news about Icardi and all that, is stemming from the Italian journalist, Damasio as well. And, as I did say, Damasio is a very, very respectful journalist, and he's also a very, very reliable journalist, especially in relation to Manchester United. And when it does come to transfer rumours and stuff, he's very, very reliable indeed, is Damasio. So he basically says Manchester United, could swap, Lukaku for Icardi this summer. So from Damasio's preference, he believes this will happen, to be quite honest with you as well. But Icardi, for me, very, very good player. He's into his seventh, I think he's going into his seventh season now at Inter Milan, of course. He's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time as well. He's not Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time as well. I think he has got a release clause, is it around 110 million euros, 100 million pounds sterling as well. But yeah, as I said, he's been at Inter Milan a number of years as Icardi. I think he scored over 100 odd goals for Inter Milan as well as Icardi. Obviously, when he was a lot younger, he had one season with Sampdoria, and when he was a lot younger before that, I think he graduated from Barcelona's youth system as well. Don't get me wrong, I've got some reservations about Mario Icardi. Don't get me wrong. When it comes to his defensive abilities, I've got concerns about him. Some of his touches, do concern me as well. But he's a player who I do believe, would come to Manchester United and bring goals to Manchester United. I do believe he could bring us at least 25-30 goals a season, Icardi, if he was to come in as well. But the news about Romelu Lukaku, I think he's intending on making a move to Italy, is Romelu Lukaku, as we all currently know. Lukaku is intending on making a move to Italy as well, because there was talks going on a while back, well, I think it was last week, should I say, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. He admitted, Lukaku, that it would be a dream for him, to play in the Serie A as well. And Lukaku, of course, is attracting interest from the likes of Juventus and Inter Milan as well. I think if he is to leave this summer, Lukaku, I think his preferred destination would be Juventus, of course, because I think he's actually keen on playing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo in the Juventus team as well. But Lukaku, as I said, Manchester United paid big money for him. We paid £75 million for him, plus 15 million in add-ons as well, which had actually risen it to £90 million. Lukaku's still got 3 years left on his deal. 3 years left on his deal, yes. He's on about £250,000 a week as well as Romelu Lukaku. So yeah, I think he could be going this summer, because recent reports said his agent has revealed that he's open to the move, is Lukaku as well. And he's enjoyed a difficult second season with Manchester United, because obviously we know mainly Rashford's been first choice, and Lukaku, for me, is well Premier League proven, of course. His pedigree is good in the Premier League, but I just don't think he's got the capabilities, to play to the highest level, because he's a big game bottler, when it comes to playing the big teams and all that. His first touch concerns me, he's too slow and all that, doesn't really get enough them runs in behind, can perform better, when he's getting that support up front, can look a bit more effective, can Romelu Lukaku as well. So I think, if this was to process, Icardi and Lukaku's a potential swap deal, I think it would be beneficial for Manchester United. I also think it would be beneficial for Inter Milan as well, because obviously Inter Milan, I think they want to sanction Icardi off and find a replacement for him as well. I think Edinson Cavani also got thrown into the mix as well, a part of this narrative as well. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about that going on in the media as well. So as I potentially said as well, there has been, in that midfield, there has been talks of West Ham's Declan Rice as well. Declan Rice is one of England's youngest upcoming talents, of course. Declan Rice is 20 years of age, of course. His performances have been very, very good this season for West Ham under Manuel Pellegrini as well. I think Declan Rice has been in the senior squad, West Ham, quite a few years now as well. He got a new long-term contract based on his good performances back in December of last year. So he's under contract with West Ham until 2024. Is Declan Rice as well. But he's only 20 years of age, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he's predominantly a defensive midfielder. I think he can operate as a centre-back, but I think he's mainly a defensive midfielder. He's Declan Rice as well. And I think West Ham would want around £50 million for him this summer, of course, if they are willing to sanction him off as well. So there has been talks about him going on. He's available for a reasonable figure, is Declan Rice, of course. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield, of course, if he was to come in as well? But as we all do currently know, the players that are leaving Manchester United this summer, who I do want to leave this summer, then that's the decision we've got to make. What players are going to leave? What players are going to come in? Obviously, we've got to make a decision as well. Who's going to be the new captain as well? That's something we've got to come to an agreement on as well. And so we know one player that's definitely leaving, of course, and that's Antonio Valencia. He's definitely leaving the club. He's definitely leaving the club. So obviously, we're going to need a replacement, for Antonio Valencia in that right back position as well. And potentially, as I did say, Diego Dalot, as I said, Man United got him for around, was it, if I can remember rightly, was it about £19 million from Porto last summer as well? Diego Dalot, he's very, very young. He's 19, 20 years of age. Don't get me wrong, he's still in the process of developing as Diego Dalot. But for me, we need a replacement for Valencia, and we need a cover up for Diego Dalot as well in that full back position as well. So for me, in these two remaining games, definitely Young needs to be dropped, and Diego Dalot, should be playing ahead of Ashley Young as well, because Ashley Young, as I said, it was bad business from the club, giving Young a new 1-year extension as well. Young's been a good servant to the club. This is Young's 8th season now at Manchester United, as we all know. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He was a good winner back in the day, but now he's past his sell-by date. He's 33 years of age, nearly 34, and by the time that 1-year extension expires, Ash Young, will be nearly 35 years of age as well. So potentially, as I did say, play Diego Dalot for these two remaining games, but we need to cover up for Diego Dalot as well. And maybe some people are saying, we should bring an experienced right back in, maybe not bring a young right back in, of course, as well. I don't know why people said that, to be quite honest with you, because maybe they may get confused, of who to select, if these, Diego Dalot is obviously young, and if another youngster is to come in as well, it may be a bit of a mix-up. So maybe Manchester United would like to bring an experienced, right back in as well. And as we all do currently know, there's been talks of Thomas Meunier as well. He's an experienced right back as well. He's 27 years of age, of course. He's versatile. I think he's predominantly right back, but he is versatile, so he can play in other positions as well. Recent reports did say that PSG want around £20 million for him, so he could be available for £20 million this summer. Could Thomas Meunier as well. It did say Arsenal and Chelsea were also interested in Thomas Meunier as well. He hasn't signed a new contract with PSG. Obviously, he's got about 13 or 14 months left on his current deal with PSG. But yeah, his defensive abilities are very, very good. He can score goals. He can also provide as well, can Meunier. So I think he'd be the right solution, if he was to come to Manchester United this summer as well. So there has been talks about him. You do know there's also been talks about Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka is young. He's only 21 years of age. And don't get me wrong, I'd love Aaron Wan-Bissaka at Manchester United. Maybe, as I said, maybe people are saying it may be beneficial if we get an experienced right back in. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I wouldn't be disappointed, if we got him in. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's available for around £35-40 million, I think. And I think he's got his defensive capabilities, are very, very impressive indeed. He only broke into the Crystal Palace first team last year as well. I think, was it back in February, Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. So Manchester United, of course, are chasing him as well. So he's been discussed about in the media. But yeah, we've been interested in quite a few right backs as well. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority, of course, is to bring a right winger to Manchester United this summer, of course. And there's been talks with Jadon Sancho. Even I don't think Man United are willing to offer Champions League football for next season. It's still not. We still could end up getting Jadon Sancho if we are willing to pay up to the £100 million, for Jadon Sancho. It still could convince Borussia Dortmund to sanction him off. Even though it will be hard to get a player of his calibre, considering we're not going to be in the Champions League for next season. But Jadon Sancho, I really, really like him. He's 19 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents as well. And Borussia Dortmund, don't get me wrong, have been known for doing business with their players in the past, but we do know he's going to cost us a figure of around £100 million at least, to get Jadon Sancho this summer. Don't get me wrong, we've got the financial power to meet his valuation, but as I did say, maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer as well. But yeah, Jadon Sancho, he's young. As I said, he's done really, really well in Germany, with Borussia Dortmund. But for me, we need, someone that can play between the byline, someone that can put crosses into the box and, score goals and provide, and Jadon Sancho can do that, and I think he'd link up very, very well with the likes of Rashford and Martial in our front line as well. So yeah, so I still think is one of the club's number one priority targets is Jadon Sancho as well. And reports came out the other week saying that he's interested in making a return to Manchester as well. But potentially, as I did currently say, as he updated you on yesterday as well, in relation to Juan Mata, of course, I think he's going to be leaving the club in the summer as well. And reports are actually, saying that if he's to join Barcelona this summer, reportedly Juan Mata would have to take a wage cut, on his current £170,000 a week wages, reportedly, if he's to join Barcelona, because I don't think Barcelona are prepared to, give him, the £170,000 a week. So I think potentially, Juan Mata is going to have to reportedly, take some kind of wage cut if he wants to go to Barcelona this summer, because Barcelona have been in talks of getting Juan Mata, of course, on a free transfer as well. But Juan Mata, as I said, he's no longer playing to the highest level now. He has lost that yard of pace, doesn't even really get in the team now, to be quite honest, even though he did play against Chelsea, but overall doesn't really get in the team. And he is 31 years of age now, he's Juan Mata, and don't get me wrong, he's been a good servant in the Premier League. He's had 5 good years with Manchester United, of course, as Juan Mata. I think he's made over 200 other appearances in all competitions, of course, as Juan Mata as well. But I think he's coming to an end of his contract at the end of the season, is Juan Mata. So I think he's going to be leaving as well. Definitely, Sanchez, he's 30 years of age now. Again, he's no longer, playing to the highest level, Sanchez. So I think he's going to be on his way out in the summer as well. And as I did say, what he's currently receiving, Alexis Sanchez, it's totally affecting our wage structure, because obviously he's the highest paid player at the club. He's the highest paid player in the Premier League as well. And obviously, he's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, as Alexis Sanchez, we all know. And when he's played, he's been very inconsistent indeed. When he's played, he just looks so restricted, hasn't been getting that freedom, and hasn't settled in, to be quite honest, Alexis Sanchez. So I think he's going to be going in the summer. Is there a couple of teams that maybe, there may be a couple of teams out there that can afford to pay his wages off. If they can't, then maybe Sanchez will have to take some kind of wage cut, or Man United may have to consider loaning him out or something like that as well. But yeah, he's got to go in this summer because he's 30 now. He's lost that yard of pace, and he doesn't have a future at the club, and he's no longer playing to that highest level as well as Alexis Sanchez. Darmian definitely on his way out of the club in the summer as well. Darmian's enjoyed a very, very difficult time here at Manchester United, of course, as I did say. Now, I think Man United have triggered that extension for Darmian. We've triggered that extension for Darmian. So potentially, if we can get rid of him this summer, we can cash in for Matteo Darmian. I think we may be able to get around £7 or £8 million for him or something like that. We paid over £12 million in from Torino back in 2015 as well. But really hasn't had the chance at Manchester United. Just recently recovered from long-term absence as well. I think Marcos Rojo is going to be going as well. He's another player who I think is going. Marcos Rojo has enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player anywhere as well. Matteo Darmian's has enjoyed Marcos Rojo has enjoyed a very, very difficult time here as Manchester United player. He's good there as a backup option, but doesn't really get in the team, to be quite honest. He has sustained quite a few injuries here as a Manchester United player. Just recently recovered from long-term absence as well. So I do see Darmian, Rojo, leaving the club in the summer. But yeah, as I did currently say, Eric Bailly, for me, he needs to go as well. Eric Bailly's too injury prone, in my opinion. Far too injury prone. Even though I do like him, he's got great potential, Eric Bailly. He hasn't really had the opportunities, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in as well. So I think Eric Bailly, could be on his way out, especially if a new centre-back is to come in. Eric Bailly's future, could be in serious doubt. Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, of course, need to go in the summer as well, from my preference, no longer good enough to represent Manchester United, of course. And, we need to get a world-class central defender in, because we haven't had one since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand. The likes of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones have been here long enough. Jones has been here since Ferguson era. This is Jones' 8th season now at the club. This is Smalling's 9th season at the club as well. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them a new long-term contract as well. So we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. I think up to at least 6 players, could be departing Manchester United this summer as well. So as I was saying at the beginning of the video, in relation to Paul Pogba, reportedly, Paul Pogba has got to reportedly now take a pay cut on his wages if he is to join Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are not willing to meet his current wages reportedly as well. So whether he's willing to take this or not, I do not know, but he probably will anyway, because he's intending on making the move to Real Madrid, because obviously he even notified his Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer as well. So now we're emphasising a couple of targets that could replace Pogba, could replace Herrera as well. So yeah, so what I said is about delete the Ajax centre back as he updated you earlier on in the video. As I said, I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest. I know he's as I've had some of his statistics up and all that because I don't really know much about the player, to be quite honest. I think he's the first. I think it did say, if I'm right, he's the first defender, I think, to win the Golden Boy Award in 2018 as well. I think he's the first and only defender, sorry, to win the Golden Boy Award in 2018 as well. Obviously, he's up the Ajax youth system, for a lot of years, did delete as well for a lot of years. I think he's been in the senior squad, quite a few years now. He's age 19, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's the captain of Ajax, of course, and obviously, I think since Davinson Sanchez departed Ajax and went to Tottenham, he's become a first team regularly as a delete as well. So as said, Manchester United have been interested in him as well. We've been interested in quite a few young upcoming talents as well, to be quite honest, because as I did say, we have got quite a few aging up players in our squad as well, quite a lot of experience aging up players as well. Matic is aging up, Sanchez is 30, Matt is 31. We've got Smalling aging up, Phil Jones is knocking on as well. De Gea is now 28 as well. Young 33, nearly 34. Valencia 33 as well. We've got quite a few aging up players in that squad as well. So this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed an interest in quite a few young players. Herrera's 29. I know he's going to PSG, but he's still 29 years of age as well as Ander Herrera. So we have got quite a few aging up players in our squad as well. So potentially, guys, that's really everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.